Have you ever wondered how a simple lad from New Orleans became one of the most influential comedians of our time? Well, it all started with a boy named Mark Normand. Born to a family with a flair for creativity and an appreciation for humor, Mark's early life was steeped in the rich culture and vibrant energy of New Orleans, Louisiana. The city, with its eclectic mix of influences and its unique approach to life, became the backdrop of Mark's formative years. Mark's family background was as diverse as the city he grew up in. His parents, both free spirits with a taste for adventure, cultivated an environment where laughter and storytelling were as essential as the spicy gumbo that simmered on the stove. This laid the foundation for Mark's love of comedy, proving that humor could be found in the everyday, even in the mundane. As a child, Mark was a keen observer, always on the lookout for the funny side of life. Whether he was mimicking the eccentric characters he encountered in the French Quarter or turning family anecdotes into hilarious tales, Mark's knack for comedy was evident from a young age. His childhood in New Orleans was not just about Mardi Gras parades and jazz music. It was also about navigating the complexities of life in a city known for its resilience and spirit. These experiences, coupled with his family's influence, began to shape Mark's unique comedic style, one that would later resonate with audiences worldwide. Influences were aplenty for young Mark. From the humor in his family's lively dinner conversations to the vibrant street performances that were a staple of New Orleans culture, Mark was constantly surrounded by sources of inspiration. These experiences not only fueled his passion for comedy, but also paved the way for his future endeavors in the world of stand-up. Growing up in the vibrant city of New Orleans, young Mark was just another face in the crowd, unaware of the laughter-filled journey that awaited him. But as we'll soon find out, this was just the beginning of an extraordinary journey for a boy who would grow up to be one of the most influential comedians of our time. The world of comedy is a tough nut to crack, but for Mark Normand it was a challenge he gladly accepted. Mark's first brush with comedy was not on stage, but in the comfort of his New Orleans home where, as a child, he would watch stand-up specials and late-night comedy skits. These early influences sparked a fascination in him, an interest that would later morph into a full-blown passion. As he grew older, the allure of comedy became too hard to resist. Mark found himself drawn to the world of stand-up like a moth to a flame. A world where he could experiment with his wit, his timing, and his ability to narrate the most mundane aspects of life in the most hilarious ways. Mark's entry into stand-up comedy was not marked by a grand debut, but rather a series of small, intimate gigs. He honed his craft in comedy clubs, bars, and open mic nights. Each performance, each laugh, each heckle was a stepping stone, a lesson learned, a stride towards his dream. His talent didn't go unnoticed. The stand-up comedy circuit began to take note of this newcomer who had a knack for making people laugh. His unique style of humor, often self-deprecating and observational, started to resonate with audiences. Mark was gaining traction, steadily rising through the ranks of the comedy world. Television was the next frontier. Mark made his first appearances on late-night shows, a milestone that every comedian dreams of. He stood under the spotlight, delivering his punchlines to millions of viewers. These appearances were a testament to his talent, his grit, and his unwavering dedication to his craft. Mark's journey was not without its challenges. He faced countless rejections, nights of empty seats, and jokes that fell flat. But every stumble was a stepping stone. Every failure a lesson learned. Through it all, Mark held on to his humor, his passion, and his dream. And so, Mark Normand embarked on a journey that would forever change his life and the world of comedy. In the comedy scene, standing out is key, and stand out Mark Normand did. As he climbed the ladder of comedic success, Normand began to develop a style that was uniquely his own. A style that was refreshing, relatable, and undeniably funny. His humor, often self-deprecating, was grounded in his knack for observation and his ability to report back on the absurdities of everyday life. Normand's comedy style was like a mirror reflecting the world back to us in a way that was both hilarious and thought-provoking. He had a natural talent for taking the ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. The evolution of his comedy style was not an overnight process. It was shaped and honed over years of performances. From small comedy clubs to national television, Norman's comedic voice grew stronger and more distinct with each performance. His notable performances are many. Whether it was his hilarious segments on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, or his much-acclaimed stand-up specials like Out to Lunch, Norman always left his audience in stitches. His performances were not just about getting laughs, but about creating a connection with his audience, making them see the world through his eyes, if only for a few minutes. Norman's influence on the comedy landscape cannot be overstated. His unique style of humor has inspired a new generation of comedians who look up to him as a pioneer in the field. His approach to comedy has proven that humor can be intelligent, relatable, and above all, authentic. But perhaps the most significant contribution Norman has made to comedy is the courage to be himself. In an industry often swayed by trends and popularity, Norman has stayed true to his comedic voice, proving that authenticity is the key to lasting success in comedy. With his unique approach to humor, Mark Normand was not just making people laugh, he was revolutionizing comedy. In a world where laughter is the best medicine, Mark Normand was quickly becoming a top doctor. With a keen sense of humor and a knack for storytelling, Mark's journey in the realm of stand-up comedy was a steady climb, dotted with specials, notable projects, and recognitions that shaped his career trajectory. It was not long before Mark began making waves in his field. His stand-up specials, brimming with his unique brand of humor, resonated with audiences, leaving them craving more. Each performance was a testament to his comedic prowess, earning him spots on esteemed platforms and the applause of critics and fans alike. His projects were not mere collections of jokes. They were stories, woven with wit and insight, that held up a mirror to society, making audiences laugh while also making them think. His comedy specials were not just about the humor. They were about the human condition, about our shared experiences and observations. They were, in essence, a celebration of life's absurdities. Recognition followed suit. Mark's talent was not unnoticed. Awards and accolades began to roll in, cementing his place in the comedy landscape. Each recognition was a validation of his comedic style, a nod to his ability to tickle the funny bone while also touching the heart. But it wasn't just the accolades that defined Mark's journey. It was the influence he was having on the trajectory of comedy itself. He was not just a participant in the comedy scene. He was a game changer, a trendsetter. His style, his content, his approach, they all played a part in shaping the humor landscape. And so, Mark's journey in the world of stand-up comedy was marked by a series of highs. Each stand-up special, each project, each recognition added another feather in his cap, propelling him further into the spotlight. His impact was undeniable, his influence far-reaching. From the stages of comedy clubs to worldwide recognition, Mark Normand was leaving an indelible mark in the world of comedy, a mark that would continue to shine bright, illuminating the path for those who dared to tread the path of humor, just as he did. But Mark Normand's talent wasn't confined to the stage. His knack for humor and storytelling extended well beyond the spotlight, finding its place in the realm of podcasting and digital media. As the lines between traditional media and digital platforms blurred, Normand's ventures into these domains showcased his versatility and willingness to embrace change. His foray into podcasting started with Tuesdays with Stories, a weekly show that he co-hosted with fellow comedian Joe List. They traded tales of their comedic adventures, both on and off stage, weaving in their unique insights and humorous anecdotes. What started as a casual experiment soon became an integral part of his career, as the podcast amassed a significant following, testament to Normand's ability to captivate audiences, irrespective of the medium. But the evolution of his podcasting career didn't stop there. Normand started his own podcast, One More Drink, a show that blurred the lines between comedy and conversation, reflecting his unique style. With each episode, Normand seemed to redefine the podcasting landscape, blending humor with thought-provoking conversations, a testament to his ability to push boundaries and redefine norms. Beyond podcasting, Normand also ventured into other media projects. He made several appearances on popular talk shows, not just as a guest, but also as a host. His unique take on everyday experiences, coupled with his innovative comedic style, made him a favorite among audiences and critics alike. He also made his mark in the world of digital comedy, creating content that resonated with a wide range of audiences, further cementing his status as a versatile entertainer. Norman's journey in the world of podcasting and digital media wasn't just about expanding his repertoire. It was about exploring new ways to connect with audiences, about breaking down barriers and challenging the status quo. It was about proving that comedy wasn't just about making people laugh, it was about making them think, feel, and engage. Mark Normand was proving that he was more than just a comedian. He was a force to be reckoned with in the media world. Behind the laughter and applause, a personal journey was unfolding. A journey that was as intricate and nuanced as Mark Normand himself. The effervescent comedian, known for his quick wit and unique comedic style, was also a man navigating the roller coaster of life, weathering storms that would ultimately shape his journey and inform his craft. Mark's personal life, much like his comedy, was marked by a blend of highs and lows. He was no stranger to the challenges that life often presents. And these trials were not confined to the stage or the comedic circuit. They spilled over into his personal life, adding layers to his narrative that were as profound as they were compelling. One of the most significant challenges Mark faced was managing his professional pursuits with his personal relationships. Balancing the demands of a burgeoning comedy career with the need for meaningful, personal connections is a tightrope many in the limelight must walk. And Mark was no exception. Yet he navigated this delicate balance with the same grace and humour that characterised his stage performances. Then, there were the inevitable professional hurdles. The comedy scene is a competitive arena, and Mark faced his share of rejection and setbacks. But instead of letting these trials deter him, he used them as fuel, as inspiration. He harnessed the energy of these challenges to refine his craft, to push the boundaries of his comedy, and to carve out a niche for himself in the crowded landscape of stand-up comedy. But perhaps the most significant impact of these trials was on Mark himself. They shaped him, molded him, and gave him a depth that transcended his comedy. His struggles became a part of his narrative, enriching his performances with a relatability that resonated with audiences. His triumphs, on the other hand, were a testament to his resilience, to his unwavering commitment to his craft, and to his ability to find humour in the face of adversity. Through triumphs and trials, Mark Normand continued to bring laughter to the world, proving that comedy is not just an art, but a way of life. This is not just the story of a comedian. It's the story of a man who, through his journey, showed us that laughter can indeed be the best medicine, no matter what life throws our way. For Mark Normand, his influence extended beyond the comedy scene. His humour wasn't just designed to make audiences laugh. It was also meant to open their eyes to the world around them. Normand's comedy, sharp and thoughtful, often held a mirror up to society, asking us to question, to think, and most importantly, to connect with one another. Beyond the stage, Normand was a force for change. His involvement in various charitable causes and initiatives was not just a footnote in his career, but a significant part of his legacy. He used his platform to shed light on issues close to his heart, making him not just a comedian, but also a philanthropist. His generosity was as expansive as his humour, and just as impactful. One of the most powerful tools at Normand's disposal was his voice. He used it not just to deliver punchlines, but to advocate for social issues. He was unafraid to use his platform to bring attention to causes that mattered, from mental health awareness to social justice. In doing so, he transformed from a figure of entertainment to a beacon of influence. But Normand's impact went beyond his advocacy work. His comedy, his voice, his generosity, they all worked together to inspire a generation. His journey taught us that humour can be a powerful tool for change, that laughter can bring people together, and that a single voice can make a difference. Normand's influence extended to his peers in the comedy scene and beyond. His unique style, his fearlessness in tackling tough topics, and his dedication to making a difference have all left an indelible mark on the world of comedy. He hasn't just left a legacy of laughter, he's left a legacy of change. As we look back on Normand's journey, we see a man who did more than just make people laugh. He used his gift to bring about change, to advocate for those without a voice, and to make the world a better place. Mark Norman's journey serves as a testament that laughter can indeed change the world. As the curtain falls on our journey with Mark Norman, one thing is clear: his story is far from over. His recent projects have shown an ever-evolving comedic genius, from stand-up specials to hilarious podcast episodes. His ability to bring laughter into our lives remains unwavering. Looking ahead, Mark's plans are as ambitious and humorous as ever. He's not just content with making us laugh. He wants to push the boundaries of comedy, exploring new mediums and expanding his comedic repertoire. There's no doubt that whatever he does next, it will be marked with his signature wit and charm. But perhaps the most profound aspect of Mark's journey is his enduring influence on the comedy landscape. He has carved out a unique niche, inspiring a new generation of comedians to be bold, to be different, and most importantly, to be funny. As Mark Norman continues to carve out his path in comedy, his legacy serves as a reminder that laughter is indeed the best medicine.